way, I like that this cup is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood.
Yes.
It's a metaphor, obviously, I think.
Yes.
But what a wonderful metaphor.
Yes.
That this cup that is poured out for you is the new covenant in my blood.
In my blood.
And so it's interesting, the covenant that went before is now made old. The writer of Hebrews in the 8th chapter of Hebrews is telling us that.
That's right.
And but isn't it wonderful? This is a new covenant, not dedicated with the blood of bulls and of goats, but with the blood of the Messiah himself. He literally has purchased us to God, Revelation 5.
Yes.
He purchased us to God by his own blood. I think that's
very important.
Tremendous.
We also had to add here that just as Moses first gave the words of the covenant, then sanctified it, what's the word, sealed it in the blood. Very important to notice that Jesus already given the words of the covenant.
Absolutely.
Because people think that he didn't do anything with the new covenant before he died. That's just wrong. He's sealing this new covenant based on all of the teachings and words that he gave.
Absolutely. Wow.
To you.
And then think too, if that was sealed, as it were, by the blood of bulls and goats, if that was a great thing, it was. This is Paul, I think, in 2 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. But how much greater then is this that's sealed with the blood of the Messiah himself? Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. And you gave us this excellent verse just now, was it John 12, I think?
Oh yes.
Where the words of Jesus are everything. This has to be said repeatedly because the public does not understand this. Also Hebrews 2 verse 3 says that the salvation message, the gospel was given, preached by Jesus, then he dies to reconcile, to seal it. But you must not forget the teaching and preaching of Jesus.
That's right.
Otherwise you forget Christianity.
My goodness. Well, and isn't it so, Anthony, that when people, think about this, when people are determined to continue on in the old covenant, the first covenant that was sealed with the blood of bulls and goats, isn't that actually a turn against, as it were, the sufficiency of this new covenant, which is in the blood of Christ? That old covenant was brought to us by Moses. That was wonderful, but still this eclipses that. Jesus accomplishes and brings to us the fulfillment, as it were. All that we would hope to have learned through Moses is now made clear to us through Christ and through this covenant that he's brought to us.
So what you're saying there is we have to talk about the first and the second covenant. And the second covenant is known as the better covenant. It's known as the new covenant. So this is perhaps the major thing that I think we're trying to get over in our teachings here. It's a timetable question, isn't it? If you don't understand the timetable, you don't know what time it is. You're confused. You're disoriented. And much of the public is.
Absolutely.
So allow the words of Jesus to be the new covenant, but sealing the whole deal with his blood.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a terrible affront to and denying the sufficiency of Christ and his covenant when we decide we need to go around him to go back and actually maintain the old covenant. That was never God's intention.
Not at all. In fact, it's a slap in the face of Jesus. You better be careful. You're not putting yourself into the wrong covenant. It's not going to do you any good. If you're still thinking of being under the law of Moses in the letter, you actually are denying Christianity.
Absolutely.
These are serious issues.
This is that better and new covenant. And if, as the scriptures said, if that first covenant had been perfect, if it had been what we really
wouldn't have been a need,
then we would not have needed a new one. So
new,
and the new covenant is not just the old one kind of refitted or something. The new one is truly new. It's God's. It's what the old covenant was meant to be, a stepping stone, I think, to this one, to help just bring us to Christ. And isn't that what Paul is saying in Galatians, the 3rd chapter? So. This was intended to bring us to the teacher. That pedagogue was intended to bring us to the teacher. to Christ.
Yes, and pedagogue then became unnecessary because that's just for the child going to school.
That's
needs
right.
to be accompanied. Yeah. Forget that. That's the old time. Now let's talk about the new covenant words of Jesus that he seals with his blood. There you go. He seals it with his blood. But the words were given before. That is a subject that cannot be overemphasized.
Might we say that it is an affront to God's plan to mix that was dedicated by the blood of bulls and goats with this that is dedicated with the blood of Jesus?
Don't want to do that.
Well,